War is raging, government is stealing our freedom, food processing plants are burning, and gun sales are through the roof. You're in the right place. This is The Prepared Mind.
There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before. There are public figures today, yesterday, and the day before, predicting and all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
Obviously, Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans, I think, are the biggest threat to democracy. We don't separate right-wing extremists and Republican Party anymore. Republicans are the biggest threat to democracy.
This means war. That is where we are. We are at war with these people. These folks are evil.
And all but calling for mass violence and rioting in the streets.
This means war.
If you wanted to think you need to have weapons to take on the government, you need F-15s and maybe some nuclear weapons.
We are at war with these people.
All right, everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. I'm going to have to say that I've now gone to DEFCON 2, DEFCON 1, meaning, we're at it. I'm at that place now. Now, this is not a call for violence or revolution or dangerous and bad behavior, none of that shit. It's just where I'm at mentally. That was the Democrats and their attitudes towards you, your country, your laws, the Constitution. That's their attitude. You're evil. You're bad. You're a threat. Meanwhile, New York City has a communist jihad foreigner as a mayor. And every other city in America and around the world, literally, when they elect a Muslim mayor, the city goes to shit. Violence increases, rape increases, murder increases, robbery increases. Period. They are here to destroy this country, and the Democrats are cheering it on. AOC cheered on this scumbag. Chuck Schumer cheered on this scumbag. AOC cheered on this scumbag. And speaking of Chuck Schumer, who is a filthy pig and a traitor to freedom, dumbass Democrat Senator Chuck Schumer has now been hospitalized. I am not going to wish him well, nor any Democrat. You don't wish your enemy well. You don't wish your enemy to feel better. You don't help your enemy. You destroy them. And he and all the Democrats have demonstrated and proven they are the enemy of this country, the enemy of freedom and liberty, the enemy of law and order. These are the same people that rooted and said Carmel Anthony, the murderer who stabbed a high school boy in the heart and killed him on the spot, that he's a victim. The stabber is the victim. Today, it was revealed the woman who was in charge of the auto pin in the White House, she admitted to using it many times. That's treason. She signed the president's name, and the president had no idea. The Democrats are running and trying to hide, and Trump has denied them executive privilege with respect to their dealings with Biden and whether or not he was coherent up here. This country is at war with Democrats. Or rather, I should say, the Democrats are at war with you and our country. Well, let's get back to Senator Chuck Schumer. Doctors are checking his ass for a hammer, a gerbil, or an uncooked cheeseburger. I have zero love or anything positive for Schumer, who hates our Constitution and freedoms. Fuck you, Chuck. I bet it hurts, doesn't it? Stop being nice to the enemy, folks. They deserve a rope and a branch. Their crimes need to be made public. And look how many of their crimes have been made public. Pam and Cash have done nothing. Right? Nothing. I'm not holding my breath that anything is going to be done over anything anymore. This country is through. The only thing we haven't done is started shooting each other. That's it. This is where we're at. It is a foregone conclusion. Trump is not going to do anything because Pam and Cash aren't being reprimanded. They're not being directed. They're not being told they're doing a shitty job. They're not being fired. Nothing. 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 Shit is going to hit the fan. Oh, you think it's bad now? You just wait. It is going to get worse. A lot worse before it gets any better. I think we've all been fucking sold out. Elon Musk, his most infamous remember the Department of Government Efficiency? Do you remember the Department of Government Efficiency? That's the organization that was put together by a panel of experts. Elon Musk came in and brought in his sharpest computer guys to find the fraud, waste, abuse, theft, etc. And it was revealed that one of them went by the moniker Big Balls. Remember that guy? Well, he has resigned. And I can tell you why. He's been threatened. He's been treated like shit by sellout traders in Washington, D.C. And all the evidence he found of theft, fraud, bribery, money laundering, extortion, on top of all the regular waste and abuse, which has been swept under the rug, and nothing's been done. Congress, the Republicans have done nothing with it. The Department of Justice, the Attorney General, the FBI, fuck you, Bondi and Kash Patel. Done nothing with all the crime, all the evidence, nothing. Oh, wait. Ooh, man, should I trust the plan? Right? I should trust the plan. Nothing has been done. Nothing. Trust the plan. Yeah, my ass. I mean, we called this shit over 6 fucking years ago when we started the R Syndicate as a parody of the X bullshit. I tell you. And nothing is safe. Nothing is sacred. Nothing is out, folks. The Federal Reserve as a bank, it's not a bank. It's not a lending institution the federal government borrows money from. It is a political body that controls monetary policy. Here's an example. Old Jerome Powell, right? Too slow Powell says he's not going to cut interest rates because sometime later this year, inflation may go up. May. Oh, so now he's guessing. He doesn't know for sure. I mean, I believe that inflation is going to go up, but I thought they were supposed to look back and have verifiable, quantifiable evidence before they make a policy decision. Well, now he's forward looking, going, well, we may in the future. Now he's guessing and making borrowing capital money, right? Making it money, making it cheaper to borrow has been stopped. Even though Jerome Powell dumped rates for Biden to try and make him look good by making things less expensive to finance. I am 100% disgusted with everyone in Washington, D.C. Everyone. I don't see anyone doing anything. I hear this. I hear that. I see this. I see that. But there's nothing being done. They know who's on the Diddy list. And they're dropping charges left and right. They know who's on the Epstein list. And they're pretending the list doesn't exist. They're pretending there's no evidence. They know the government is wasting trillions of dollars to impoverish you and me. And they're acting like it's no big deal. I'm disgusted with every single last scumbag in Washington, D.C., including Jasmine Crockett, by the way. And I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked. Before I tell you why I'm shocked about Jasmine Crockett, questions, comments down below. I'm going to try and do 30 minutes of my monologue, and then I'll get to your questions. It's been rough, folks. Absolutely rough. Absolutely rough dealing with this shit. I've had it. If there was a movement whereby Americans could take their country back in a nonviolent manner, I would do it. But there is no way that it can be done non-violently. So all we are doing is sitting around waiting for the violence to start. That's it. That's where I'm at now. Tick tock. So back to Jasmine Crockett. I'm shocked. She made a push to become the House Oversight Committee's top Democrat. And she lost. She is retarded, my friends. Retarded. Low IQ retarded. But to the Democrats, that's a resume enhancement. I can't believe being retarded combined with her diversity, equity, and inclusion status didn't get her that position. Oh, by the way, why hasn't Pam Bondi pressed charges on her for assault and battery? Why hasn't Kash Patel arrested her for assault and battery? Why is she not in jail for assault and battery? Because everyone in Washington, D.C., who is trying to destroy this fucking country is allowed to continue destroying this fucking country. I might be a little black-pilled today. I might just be stuck there from now on. There is no redeeming value to Washington, D.C. Yeah, there's a few good people. A few. And I'm talking a fucking handful. Otherwise, forget it. The federal government is a lost fucking cause. Lost cause. Name one thing that's happened that just leads you to put all your faith in them. Can't do it. You know, I mean, you can name the people that try doing good things, but the whole place is fucking lost. Let's just take the Pentagon. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense, badass, all-American. Even with his position of power and influence, there's still people in there denying the president, denying his policies, and trying to undermine the military, the president, the Secretary of Defense, and our security. And Pete can't stop it because there's so many of them. That fucking scumbag, that neo-Kenyan Hawaiian lying sack of shit, Obama, destroyed the military and set in motion his Muslim Brotherhood takeover plan in the United States of America. And Trump is not defeating it. And now America has its newest mayor, Zoran Mamdani. He is a jihadi communist sack of shit. And guess what he wants to do? He wants to, quote, defund the police. Didn't we deal with that shit back in 2020? Everyone thought they were going to defund the police, and then crime went rampant in New York City, Chicago, and every big city that tried it. It got so bad that the people in the ghettos, the people in the lower class areas, the people in the middle class all screamed, yelled, and demanded to fucking hire the police back. Not only did this guy, Zoran Mamdani, he's only been an American for 6 years. He's not 6 years old, but he's from Africa, Northern Africa. He's a Muslim. He is a communist sack of shit, and he should be deported under U.S. law for revealing his communist ideals within 5 years of becoming a citizen. Yeah, folks. The government can actually do things like kick communists back out of the country for lying. To become an American, you have to swear an oath to the Constitution. No communist and no Islamist can swear an oath honestly to the Constitution because they believe it needs to be destroyed. A fundamental belief of theirs is it must be destroyed, and the country. Oh, yeah. Zoran Mamdani also said, globalize the Intifada. You know what that means? Kill all Christians, kill all white people, kill all non-Muslims, rape all women. Kill, rape, murder, kill, rape, murder, kill, rape, murder. Oh, yeah. And make people slaves. That is who is now in charge of New York City. And guess what? The fucking Gen Zers, the millennials in New York City are literally jumping up and down and cheering. They're all going to get raped. Every guy and every girl is going to get raped, robbed, and murdered. And not in that order. Now, the government can actually do something about this, but it's not going to. It's not going to stop evil. Government refuses to stop evil. Well, unless it's you exercising free speech or exercising your Second Amendment right, or you not paying enough taxes, they'll come after you in a fucking second. In fact, folks, today, Democrats, protesters, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian, they barged into the Capitol, took over a part of the Capitol building, and they're getting arrested. But do you think they're going to spend a night in jail? Do you think the FBI is going to go after them the way, oh, you guessed it, the last FBI did? Chris Wray's FBI went after every American patriot. Nope, it's fucked. We're all done. We're all done. And you and I are not safe just because we're not in Washington, D.C. We are all at risk of violent, lunatic, leftist, communist, jihad, Antifa scumbags. I'll give you an example. Once again, questions down below. Someone named Brian Johnson, and I'm not talking about the singer for AC/DC. This Brian Johnson I'm talking about is better known as the, quote, Liver King. He is a moronic influencer, a moronic Democrat influencer. He managed to get himself arrested in Austin, Texas. Yeah, he traveled to Austin, Texas, trying to find Joe Rogan. That's right, right-wing podcaster. No, Joe used to be a Democrat. Joe used to be a moderate. Joe used to be a middle-of-the-roader. Joe used to be anti-partisan, non-partisan, until he started asking actual political questions and getting political answers. So now he's right-wing Joe Rogan. I would have preferred that the Liver King wasn't arrested and that he found Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan would have kicked his ass right off the fucking planet. Joe Rogan being a mixed martial arts practitioner as well as announcer and podcaster. We're in big trouble, folks. And I mean big fucking trouble. I need everyone to get prepared and stay prepared. We've got the thepreparedmind.club, CLUB. You don't have to be a premium member to go there and buy what you need. We've got shopping. It clicks and it takes you to other companies' websites. Get stocked up. Get prepared. You need food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, means of self-defense, and a plan. Get it together. Know the area around you, the 10-mile radius around your house, because within that 10 miles are the people that are going to save your ass or bury your ass. You need to know who's there. You need to know where they're at, so you are aware and prepared if things go fucking south. I've had it with this shit. I really am. I've had it. You guys have been great support. You've been fucking brilliant. You've been strong. You've been fucking loyal. You've been intelligent. And look what is happening in the world around us regardless. There is not going to be a happy ending. There is going to be a very bloody, nasty ending once again. And that may offend some people. That may turn some people off. Well, I'm sorry, this is not the good news channel. This is not the look. It's rainbows and fucking unicorns. This is what's happening now. This is what's going on in our world. Right now. Speaking of Joe Rogan, who is right-wing media now, and I guess the alternative or right-wing media is the best place for a reality check. Bernie Sanders, who is a communist, lying sack of senatorial crap. That Bernie Sanders, former presidential lying candidate, piece of shit communist, who has 3 massive, beautiful homes in America. And who knows how many in other countries. He's a communist. He's not sharing and sharing alike. He's not paying his fucking fair share. This crotchety old stupid fuck thought he was going to go on Joe Rogan and just bowl over the entire largest alternative audience in media. Because Joe Rogan is the biggest. He is the biggest non-CNN, non-Fox News, non-NBC, ABC, MSN, none of those fucking piece of shit shows, right? He's bigger than them, Joe Rogan. So Bernie thought he was going to go on there and I guess he's going to kick some ass. No. He was 100% embarrassed by Joe Rogan, who asked real questions. The interview backfired on Bernie. He is a Democrat. He's a communist. He's a piece of shit. And that's all I see on TV with everybody in DC, every elected politician, every bureaucrat, every judge, every lawyer. They're all shit. At this point, folks, I'm going to point you to history. Germany was destroyed after World War I. People aren't going to like where I go with this. Germany was fucking destroyed after World War I. The German Kaiser, aka King, Kaiser Wilhelm, was blamed for World War I. And after the war was over, all of Europe blamed Germany and said, you have to pay us all back now. It destroyed financially Germany. And then, folks, let me tell you what happened in Germany after that. While suffering massively, Germany was then attacked by the LGBTQ crowds. That's right. They started the transgender, homosexual push to completely bring Germany to its fucking knees and destroy it. In response to that, Germany elected a charismatic, loud, brash leader named Adolf Hitler. And Hitler started cleaning up the shit. He was locking up the bad guys. He threw people out of his country he did not like and that was bad for Germany. He burned books on being gay, transgender, homosexual, cross-dressing, everything, and pedophilia also. Those were the books he was burning. So while I don't look at Hitler and go, what a great guy, we need a Hitler here. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that is what happens. Because how many people asked, how did Germany end up with someone as lunatic crazy as Hitler, who did all the Hitler stuff that we've been told he did? This is how it happens, folks. They try and destroy a nation. They bring in every immoral piece of shit they can. They bring in foreigners to try and destroy our culture, our laws, our wealth, and our country. And a nation, in response to that, will revolt so hard that you end up with a radical like Hitler. America is now in a position where they may end up getting a Hitler in the next 5 to 10 years. Same with Europe. Same with England. It depends on how far the destroyers push, and I call them the destroyers. They know who they are. It depends on how far they push, how far they get before good people finally stand up and say, that's enough of that shit. I'm not calling for it, folks. I'm looking into the future and I'm seeing a potential. Unless we, the people, act on our own. But people are typically lazy. And they may take some action for a while, and then they'll push all the responsibility onto the new leader of the movement. And on the other side, if we end up with fucking communist jihadi scumbags, what do? They send their wrecking crew out to fucking murder everyone they can. And if you're lucky enough to live, they send you to a work prison or gulag, if you will. And they steal all your money, communist style, and ruin that. And then they lead a nation into destruction and shit and filth. That's the communist side. So Bernie Sanders got fucking destroyed. The people know better. The interview backfired. Bernie sounded like a total moron. But nothing's going to change in D.C., folks. Nothing's going to change in the Democratic National Committee. Nothing is going to change in the media. This is where we're at. I don't like being right. I don't like being correct. I don't like being a prognosticator of these things happening, but I've been watching it march step by step by step since the 1980s. And back then it was just some deficit spending. We got to do deficit spending to destroy the Soviet Union, to defeat them. And then we got Mr. 1,000 Points of Light, George H.W. Bush and his 1,000 Points of Light, Brave New World Order. And then we got the fucking Clintons. And then we got George W. Bush. Moron extraordinaire. We got 9/11. We got the Patriot Act, which is not patriotic. We got the NDAA, which does nothing for national defense. It just makes you a fucking enemy that they can spy on. And then we got Obama. 8 years of that piece of shit. We got 4 years of Trump where nothing changed. Then we got Biden and the giant push to neuter and destroy and sterilize your children, to ransack and rampage mentally with propaganda and indoctrination, not just in grade school, not just in high school, not just in university, not just through the media, in the fucking workplace, in the military, in the government, on the fucking TV, everywhere, right? It's all rotten. In fact, ass-kicking Carrie Lake was testifying today exposing waste, fraud, and abuse at a government bureaucracy called USAGM. This is what she said, quote, "This place is rotten. It's rotten to the core." Right? That's not just a quaint expression. That's not just a partisan exaggeration. Washington, D.C., and all the federal bureaucracies are rotten. Have you ever picked up a piece of rotten fruit? It falls apart. It's all mushy and disgusting. It's full of vile, disgusting insects and shit that just pour out of it. How about a piece of rotten meat? Smells like death. It's got fucking maggots on it and everything. It's rotten to the core, to the center. That's Washington, D.C. and the U.S. government. Carrie Lake exposed, folks, 20 spies from hostile nations, millions and millions of dollars in improper payments, and quid pro quo out the ass. What does that mean? It means this for that. Quid pro quo. I do this, you do that. I give you this, you give me that. All this has been revealed. All this is known in Washington. But zero arrests from Pam Bondi, zero arrests from Kash Patel, zero action by Dan Bongino, other than this and this and this fucking lip service. Do you remember? I'm going to ask you to remember when Patel and Bongino and Pam Bondi all said they're going to clean up Washington, D.C. They're going to shut down the FBI. They're going to arrest the traitors and criminals. They're going to release the Epstein files. They're going to arrest the bad guys. Remember when they said that? Yeah, that was pretty cool, man. I remember when they said all that. And they did nothing. Fucking nothing. Nothing at all. White House press spokesperson Carolyn Leavitt, who is a very intelligent lady, says the FBI investigating the leaker of top secret intelligence assessment about the U.S.'s strikes on Iranian nuclear sites They know who it is. I'm sure Kash Patel will get to the bottom. Oh, yeah. I'm sure arrests will be made. I'm sure the nation will be safe. I'll give you a clue, Kash. It was someone in the Democrat Party. And it's someone, the group, Democrat Party, where members have already committed treason and you refuse to arrest them for that, and now they're doing this. Oh, by the way, Iran has come out and said, yeah, you guys fucking destroyed our nuclear facilities. And before I switch over to you guys, Pam Bondi was testifying in Congress. She was speaking with the senator. What did this senator say? Right? He tried talking some smack, tried talking some shit to her. Yep, he tried all that. Guess what? She stomped him. She absolutely stomped him. She viciously stomped this guy, a senator. Stomped him. Democrat senator, Democrat, of course, from Oregon, Jeff Merkley. He accused the President Trump, of being bought off by, quote, foreign influence. So Pam is smart. Pam is knowledgeable. Pam stomped him into the ground, put him in his place. But she refuses to release the Epstein list. She refuses to make arrests. She refuses to make America safe. She refuses to make it safe for anybody, nor for children, right? It's not safe for children. It's not safe from pedos. It's not safe from bankers. It's not safe from evil financiers and pedophile politicians. She won't do that, but she'll defend Trump like that. She's got the fucking answers, just like that. Fucking chop this guy down. But she's not going to do a fucking thing for you and me in this country. She's going to maintain the status quo and protect who needs to be protected to the extent, and that's it. Now, I don't know. Maybe I sound a little upset. Maybe I sound a little bitter. This is where our country's at. We know who all the bad guys are, whether they're drug dealers or fucking terrorists, entire countries that are fucked up. We know where their military components are, their navies, their submarines, their air forces, their missile base. We know everything. We know who all the criminals are in this country, and they won't do a fucking thing about any of it. I hate to be pessimistic, but nothing is going to change until it gets violent. Nothing at all. And with that, I'm going to turn the show over to you guys. I didn't want to be too negative. Hopefully I sounded like just an optimistic kind of American guy. I don't know. Your turn right now. If I could afford a boat, I'd buy one and I'd sail the fuck away to a free country somewhere. Except there's nowhere to run to or sail to. There's no place on the planet where you can go to escape the stupidity. Oh, good God. That means you're going to have to fight. Oh, man, who do we want to put on the board? It is the Prepared Mind channel. It is Wednesday, hump day. And it is Corey checking in. And he says, Pam, Cash, and Dan didn't last 2 months before the lies started. I'll tell you what, Corey, my brother, you could travel from east to west and west to east, and I don't think you'll find anybody that can give you one shred of evidence to the contrary of what you just wrote. As the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, there's nobody that can say these people haven't lied, because they even lied before they got the position, because everything they said prior to their appointments, their approvals, and their oath of office was a lie. They lied before. It was just a show. It's all a fucking show. Do you doubt me? Is there any evidence it's not a show? Because all we get is circus. Thank you, Corey, very much, brother. Mr. Uman, where shall we go next? And it is Kate Coleman Hobbs. She said, John, there's no political solution. None. I can't argue with you. I can't. Trust the plan? That's a good one. I love trust the plan. Okay, sheeple, gather up and head off the cliff. Sheep, any of you sheep? Just follow the lemmings. We are fucked in all areas. Congress took over the Federal Reserve decisions, not Powell via Thomas Massey. I know what you're talking about. There's a belief, there was some action taken that the Treasury was supposed to take over. It was supposed to be merged with the Federal Reserve, but we haven't seen anything change. If Chairman Powell is window dressing, right, to make us believe that there's a politically independent person there, I don't know. I'm just going to agree with your first fucking statement. There's no political solution. There's a law enforcement solution. There is a military solution that I could see going the right way. There is not a revolutionary solution. That would be the communists and jihadis. They want a revolution. We have in place the U.S. Constitution. We have in place already, right, the political solution. It's called the Declaration of Independence. That's our political solution, but it requires a violent and military execution. By execution, I mean a plan of action carried out, and that's it. That's where we're at now. All of Washington, D.C. needs to be arrested and tried and given a short drop with a quick stop involving rope. And that would go a long, long, long way in letting criminals and bankers and pedophiles and thieves and murderers and jihadis and communists know that you don't come to America and do that. Now, the question I have for you, Kate, is if we did all of that and didn't put a Hitler in charge, but rather had an all-American in charge of fixing this country, but that requires everyone that I just talked about, all the bad guys, being rounded up and eliminated. While that's going on, while that's happening, what would be happening in the rest of the country? There'd be bedlam and chaos. There'd be mayhem. It'd be a fiasco of galactic proportions. Lights would go out. Fuel wouldn't make it. Food would run out. People would be losing their shit. There'd be mass chaos and SHTF, Mad Max everywhere. Everywhere. Are you willing to suffer that to get back to a decent country? Because every last person in Washington, D.C., with the exception of a handful, raised their right hand, swore to defend and uphold the Constitution and protect it against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they fucking lied. They're the problems. At your state level, if your governor is not willing to eliminate the bad guys, no. What do? Like Governor Abbott, they sell out. Look at the Senate and the Assembly or House in Texas selling out to the jihads. Don't mean to be so pessimistic. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I should be fine, right? I've got food in the refrigerator. I got Spam and tuna fish in the pantry. I got a few bottles of scotch lined up. I should be happy, right? Except I see where all of this is going. My job is to wake people up. My job is to tell them to get ready, get prepared. My job is to keep people informed of what's happening, the status level of the SHTF, and then encourage people to get other people to wake the fuck up, right? Knock the lid off the can and smell the shit. And then, once everyone realizes it's all shit, do something about it. Until then, we're all stuck having to endure the stench of this shit. All right, Mr. Uman, where are we rolling next? We got Roy Stonerook checking in. He says, Pam and Cash are not doing anything about illegal activities. I agree with you 100% as well, Roy. Trump evidently doesn't want to replace Pam and Cash. That must be true as well, because he's not criticizing them. He's not pushing them. He's not commenting on it. He must be fine with it. Trust the plan, right? Yeah, right. So Roy says, what can get to Pam and Cash? What can be done to get Pam and Cash removed? Write, email, comment, text, call the White House, call the President of the United States. Go to the whitehouse.gov website and demand Trump remove Pam Bondi and Cash Patel and replace them, and demand that the next people in those positions of authority arrest the criminals, the Democrats, the Republicans, the pedophiles, the bureaucrats, the traitors. We have to demand that they be replaced and demand that arrests be made. Is that going to do it? Well, what's the penalty for not following the demand? There is no penalty. Right? There is no severing the head, right? No. There's no just tearing them open. There's nothing. There's nothing. You can't do it by telling him. We can tell him, we can pressure him, and that's what I recommend we do. But short of violence, and I'm not recommending that, nothing is going to change. Trump doesn't believe it's that bad or that big of a deal, apparently. Now, he has the benefit, and he shared it with us, saying that, well, the United States of America has incredible weapons that no one will believe, weapons that people can't understand how powerful they are. Well, they're not being used. I don't need a super secret ray gun. I don't need any super secret weapons. I need someone with a gun, a badge, and a pair of fucking handcuffs to go into the Capitol and start arresting Democrats, start arresting Republicans, start arresting bureaucrats, start arresting everybody. That's what needs to happen. We don't need hypersonic missiles. We don't need a golden missile dome. We don't need any of this other shit. We need the bad guys arrested. It's it. It's a very local problem. We don't need the Galactic Federation. We don't need QAnon. We need someone willing to enforce the law. And Trump apparently doesn't seem to think it's that big of a deal. I'm very disappointed in that. That's where we're at. Okay, Mr. Uman, I know I'm all over this horse. Cyber Hana checks in and says, no one is doing shit. Exactly. So where does this lead us? That's the question that follows. That it begs to be asked. Well, if you're correct and no one's doing shit, where are we going? Well, my dear mother, who is still alive, unfortunately, she has to witness the world going to shit. Well, she used to say, we're going to hell in a handbasket. Little did she or I know, right, how accurate she was. The world's going to hell in a handbasket. It is going to be an enormous shit sandwich. And we're all going to have to, well, take a big bite and then another bite and another bite. It's going to happen. Okay. Thank you, Cyber Hana. Stay safe. Keep it real. Mr. Uman, where do we want to roll next, my brother? And we're back to Kate Coleman Hobbs, who's stepping in today with an opinion. And she says the border is not secure. Not. It's slowed, but the cartels are still opening. And we're getting lies, all lies. Crockett, Jasmine Crockett is a distraction. Ilhan Omar is a distraction. Rashid Tlaib is a distraction. Hakeem Dollar Store Obama Jeffries is a distraction. AOC is a distraction. Pelosi is a distraction. Schumer's a distraction. Massey's a distraction. Rand Paul's a distraction. Cotton is a distraction. They're all fucking distractions. John Toon is a distraction. They're all liars. They're not doing shit. They're not doing shit. At this point, the only one in Congress that I really think is doing anything, and 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 10 months ago, I didn't have any fucking use for the bitch. And I'm talking about Big Marge Taylor Greene. She is now the only one who seems to be criticizing Trump and what's happening because he's not doing enough, and saying, I can criticize Trump and still support Trump. And then she's criticizing. That's it. That's who we got. We got a Georgia Congresswoman divorcee who the media fucking hates. And that's all we got. Wow. Name another one. Where's Boebert? I haven't seen anything from her. Where's any of the other congressmen? Where are they? Fair question. Where are they? The Attorney General, piece of shit. The FBI, pieces of shit. Who's running the CIA? Oh, well, we do have. Here's another unlikely candidate for trying to do something. Right? The National Security. Right? The DNI, Director of National Intelligence. Tulsi Gabbard. She's trying to do stuff, but it looks like she's criticizing Trump, so then she's taking shit for that. Like, she's pissed off all the Democrats by going to work for Trump, and now she's pissing off all of the fucking right-wing sellouts in Washington. This is where we're at, folks. Are you fully prepared? Not a little prepared. Yeah, I got a handgun and a couple rounds of ammo. Yeah, are you proficient with it? Do you have enough to hold off a mob of idiots? Because that's what you're going to need. You don't need 20 rounds of ammo. You need 200 rounds of ammo. Because a mob of idiots coming at you is not going to just stop if you brandish a weapon or fire one bullet over their heads. If shit goes to shit, you're going to have enough food to make it through the night? Well, that's not enough. You're going to need something to make it through the month. The month. Are you prepared? All right, Mr. Uman, enough of my crap. Let's move on if we shall. And it's Uman himself stepping up. He's got the big blue wrench. He says there's a report out today that Immigrations and Customs Enforcement has only arrested 6% of the illegals known to have committed murder. They can keep tooting their horns, but that's not up to par. No. Now, what do they mean by 6% of illegal aliens who are known to have committed murder? Well, let me explain how this works. The illegals showed up. They downloaded an app from Joe Biden. In the app, they put in their names, who they are, what country they're from. They were let in. They were admitted. They were given credit cards. They were given cash. They're given clothes. They're given food. They're given planes and bus tickets to go wherever the fuck the government wanted them to go. And when you take that information, they uploaded the names, what country they're from. And the government goes into the database of that country and discovers that the people that Joe Biden Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC, and every other Democrat that one of these fucking people in here, they discovered that they're murderers from their own countries. And yeah, they're also committing murders here as well. Known murderers allowed into this country. Oh, no problem. Well, once you just give them some money and a house and a car and no job, but lots of food, they'll behave. Oh, don't forget to give them a phone. Yeah, then they'll behave. Then they'll be good. No. Yeah. 6%. And that's just the murderers. There's criminals that are here that didn't commit murder but committed other crimes, and they're still here. How many murders, robberies, and yes, rapes did all of these fucking illegals commit? How many of these did they commit all these other crimes and never got caught in their country? So it's not on their record. Or they just fucking lied about it, who they are and what country they're from. This is where we're at. This is June 25th, 2025. 6/25/25. Does that equal Q? Fucking Q. Fucking Q-tards. Wake up, get prepared. Wake others up, get them prepared. That's our mission here. And I want to thank you guys for helping, supporting everything, because I'm going to keep doing this because this is what we have to do. This is it. This is my mission. I've been at this fucking desk, well, many desks, from the West Coast, overseas, and back again. The Prepared Mind desk has been active since December of 2013. Unbelievable. Okay, Mr. Uman, who's next? We've got up on the board James Floyd checking in. He says the red pill didn't work, so the last pill is the black pill. Raise the black flag, no quarter given or received. Now, what is the red pill, right? So, in the movie The Matrix, Neo is brought in front of Morpheus, this smart guy, and he offers him a blue pill or a red pill. And the blue pill will put him back to sleep as a human being if Neo takes it. And he'll wake up and not remember anything. If you take the red pill, that's got the truth. It's got the facts. You take the red pill, you learn what's really going on and see what's going on, and you're awake. How many people are absolutely aware of everything and don't give a shit? They're not willing to take a stand. They're not willing to do anything. They're not willing to make a phone call. They're not willing to write their politicians. They're not willing to make a fucking stand. In fact, they couldn't give a shit. They think it's someone else's job. Right? They've taken the red pill, but they're not prepared. They don't have food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine, nothing. They don't have any self-defense. They don't have communications. They don't have battery backup. They don't have generators. They don't have solar, nothing. They have nothing. That's someone else's problem. There's people that take the fucking red pill and do nothing with it. Or they're like, fuck this red pill, and they go take a handful of blue pills. Ah! So the black pill, right? The black pill is basically the red pill with a very generous description of how you're going to be robbed, raped, murdered, fucked over, and destroyed if something doesn't change. And if you're not ready for it, folks, it's coming. Right? It's coming. Let me describe it this way, and I appreciate it, James Floyd. Thank you, sir. Have you ever been around a locomotive, a train? Right? Train tracks, train. And you're standing there, and you hear it in the fucking distance. And you hear the noise of the train coming. You hear it. And it gets a little louder as it gets closer Womp, 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 right? They hit that fucking air horn, and you can hear it. You know it's coming. You know the direction it's coming. It's not stopping. And then while you're standing there next to the railroad tracks, the fucking gate guard comes down. Ding, 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 right? Don't cross. Red lights flashing. Ding, 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 ding. Womp, womp. You hear the fucking train coming. You think everything's fine. Have you ever stood there literally and turned your back on a train at a safe distance, but when that train is on you, bam, you get hit with a fucking blast of air and noise and stink. It just about knocks you the fuck over. It didn't hit you, but that's what happens, right? You hear it coming. You're like, yeah, okay, I guess I'll get prepared. It gets closer. You're seeing all the warning lights and sounds. You hear it. You know it's coming. But you don't do anything. You just fucking stand there. You got your back to it. Whistling by the graveyard. That fucking train, it's on top of you. You hear it. You feel it. The ground explodes under your feet. And it just about knocks you over. That's what's going to happen. That's when everyone's going to be like, oh, shit. They throw their fucking hands up and they run around like a chicken with their head cut off, thinking they're going to do something and fix it. Well, by then, the train is on you, all over you, and past and gone. Right? It's just destroying everything in its wake. I think that is typically what happens. People find themselves scared, literally, at the apparent suddenness of the train and death being upon them. Well, no, it's been coming down the track for years and years and years. We could hear it for years and years and years. You could hear it. It never slowed down. It never sped up. It'd been doing it the whole fucking time, just coming right at you. Wah! That's SHTF. And people are going to be like, I had no idea. Nobody told me it was that bad. Kind of like these dumb motherfuckers who took the Jim Jones juice and they wanted you dead. Literally. They're like, you're going to die, man. You should be locked up. You should have all your rights revoked. You can't go to the store or school or job or nothing if you don't get the Jim Jones juice, right? And then we don't. Okay, man. Right? And then what happens? They're all dying. They're getting disease. They're getting cancer everywhere. And then they get mad at you for not telling them loud enough and strongly enough and often enough to not take the Jim Jones juice. All right. Man, we're at the end of the show. Let's do one more. What do we got? New warning from the Tech Transparency Project, the TTP. 20 out of the top 100 VPN apps for your phone are Chinese-owned. 1 in 5 VPNs. A VPN is a virtual private network that is supposed to hide your phone's location and IP address so you can browse anonymously. Well, 1 in 5 is owned by China, and it's stealing your data while pretending to protect your data. Nothing is free. So if they've got a free app out there, they're getting something. Okay, well, man, where do we go to find a VPN that is trustworthy? Like the Signal app, I use that. It works. I don't get any advertisement for any of the bullshit I talk about with Uman or Jolene or Vaughn or Kaz or anyone else in my life. Any other app I use, all I got to do is type in something, a product, Big Wheel. The next fucking day, if not an hour later, I'm getting Big Wheel ads everywhere. Right? So VPN, I need a good one. It's inexpensive. It works. And it's not selling my fucking data. And I want to know what data they track anyway. Are they getting passwords? Are these fake VPNs and other apps out there like TikTok? Are they stealing your passwords? Bank account passwords? Your cryptocurrency passwords? Hey, Mr. Man.
Oh, they were saying that it's stealing they're stealing all kinds of personal information as well as your photos and family information and stuff like that. So it seems to be pretty widespread, and they're telling you don't use free VPNs.
Don't
And that's
use free VPNs.
yeah, and that's on both Androids and Apples.
Okay. Any VPN that you've heard, and this is not an endorsement, rather discussion, one that you like or prefer?
No, I don't use VPNs because I don't trust them. They're providing you a solution to a problem they created and are probably going to benefit from. I mean, I never looked that far into it as to which ones are legit and good to use, but any of the ones that are free, you got a 20% chance that it's owned by a Chinese company and they're harvesting your data.
Okay. Now, the ones that aren't Chinese owned, that are free, are they stealing data, or can you know? How would you know?
They probably just haven't been caught yet.
Kind of like Congress. We know they're dirty. They just haven't been caught, and they will not get caught. Wow. What a fucking day. Hey, man, what a great show. What a tasty black pill. It's kind of like licorice. Does anyone eat black licorice anymore?
I could never stand that stuff.
There was a time when black licorice was a treat. That's something good. Hey, kid, you've been great. Here, have something that tastes like charcoal. Spicy charcoal and chewy charcoal.
Yeah. So are fish eggs and goat balls or something, right?
Oh, good God, yeah. It was a rough world when the sweetest fruit out there was a lemon, and the best candy was black licorice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. All right, dude. Right. Let's call it quits for the day. I'll be back. 0 Dark 30. Mr. Uman, thank you, sir.
Have a good night, folks.
And away we go. Chance favors, the prepared mind is yours.